Hey everybody, welcome back. HSC Podcast 150. Got Big Buck Steve on the mic, Big Smooth, Fresh Wes, sponsored by Gatorade. Brought to you by Powerade.
My NIL deal.
You remember Idiocracy when he's like, "Why do you keep saying that?" He's like, "Because they pay me every time I say it, brought to you by Powerade."
Uh,
Yeah, it's
Oh, wait a
great.
minute. Just Easter picking.
Yeah, it was Josh Simmons tackle.
But they're
Josh
not getting
Simmons.
their receiver.
Yeah, so we got NFL draft night. So we're gonna review the draft here, first round. Make some comparisons to what we thought would happen and versus what happened, and give our analysis on most of the picks. But of course, we're gonna flip it around. We're gonna do our weekly movie review first. Three great movies to review this week, so and then we'll get into draft afterwards. So let's start out with our movies here. So we
Based on
did,
books.
yeah. So we want to say, okay, find a movie that was based on a book, and we all got our picks there. But I want to start with Derek's first. And so Derek picked The Running Man, a 1987 film. I mean, you love the old ones, that's for sure.
Well, I picked it because they're remaking it.
Nice. I actually haven't seen that yet, that they were making it.
Edgar Wright is going to direct it. Glenn Powell is going to be Arnold's position, and Josh Brolin is going to be the game show host.
Nice. Dude, I mean, come on, Richard Dawson, though.
He's a game show host, so it's
That was awesome. And it's got Arnold in it. And so, yeah, so let's get into it. Uh, I haven't seen this movie in a long time, so it was actually great to watch it again. So ultimately, the movie, talking about way the world is in 2017, obviously thinking back to when in 1987 what they thought it would be like, and they're living in this totalitarian police state where that the media propaganda and the TV and the sources are controlling people, and it really is interesting because it hits home for what's happening right now in the world, right? With all of what happens with mainstream media and social media and just, AI in particular. That's what really was most interesting to me in the movie when they did a couple of like the layovers and the one with Arnold where they wanted to make it look like he was dead. That reminds me of like what happens in today's society with people posting fake news or, AI stuff, and then people believe it, right? And so this is so far ahead of its time. And I know we say that about movies, but it really is kind of what's going on right now as far as the way the media works. Overall, though, the movie itself, it's a typical Arnold movie to me. He's got the weird lines in it, sometimes you're like, okay, it's an Arnold line. And then some of the scenes are a little over the top as far as what happens, but it's a great plot. The plot is that they, come in and get prisoners and have them do this game show, and everybody loves it. And it's kind of interesting how they bet the prizes. They're betting on how good the stalkers are going to do of catching the people, and giving them prizes and things. So it's a real good concept, good movie, but I really think it kind of hits home in a lot of ways, to what's going on right now, or just the way of the world, and that the propaganda that happens, and the control that the state, as in who's in charge, has over people. Um, but it has a great ending, of course, you get to see, what's really out there. So I really enjoyed watching it again. Always a fan of Arnold. Had some good cameos in it, Jesse Ventura and Jim Brown, and so great movie to me. What'd you think of it, Wes?
Yeah, I watched this when I was like half asleep, and I don't even know if I'd seen it when I was younger, but yeah, it was pretty wild. Just the idea. I mean, yeah, it's based in 2017, so they're about 10 years off here. I could see this happening here at the end of the decade, the way things are going. But but the lines, the one line Schwarzenegger had is just it's classic sport. I just laugh every time I see. I had to watch it like 5 times. It's just when he grabs the TV, that part's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this is such a cheesy movie, but it really is. I the remake is probably going to be awesome when you think about it. I mean, they just didn't have the technology, but even some of it was pretty cool. But some of it, of course, is it's like me in my garage, like doing stuff. But but Schwarzenegger looks so young. I like the movie. It's just, you know,
I like
uh,
the technology. Yeah, I mean, you say that they didn't have the technology, but they did pretty good with what they had, right? When they started doing the face overlays
yeah.
and how they're editing the videos that they're putting out to the public and stuff.
But
That's you know they had AI in mind when they're doing
I love the butcher of Bakersfield. I
that.
mean, think
That's
about
so
it. I
good.
mean, but even the idea of the movie when I first saw it, I was like, dude, I was like, it's based in Bakersfield. I almost moved to Bakersfield. I get it. It's freaking Bakersfield. But
Yeah, it's a great beginning too, in the helicopter scene. So yeah, I love it. Worth watch. So Derek, give us your synopsis.
Well, it's Richard Bachman, but it's actually Stephen King wrote this. So it's almost we almost had a whole theme going, but Wes had to mess that up. But Stephen King wrote this. Yeah, the whole like you said, I knew for Steve would love the whole um deep fake like technology that they were using. Because yeah, you've shown us videos of like, oh here, look, this is actually fake, but they
Right.
make it look like it's real, and to fool the media and fool the audience. Um, yeah, it is a little cheesy, but yeah, 80s Arnold. And when you got Dweezil, Zappa, and Mick Fleetwood in it, it's gonna be a little cheesy. I mean, dude, Richard Dawson kills it as Killian. He's amazing in this. And yeah, I just like the whole idea of it. And Wes is right. I think Edgar Wright is going to do a great remake of it.
This is the kind of movie you want to see remade because, again, I hate to overuse the term ahead of its time, but it's more prevalent now and going to be taking in a different way than it may have been back then.
and hopefully they don't pull an accountant too, where they only show it in the theater one night. Like tonight, I was like, I want to see the accountant too in the theater. Oh, only tonight. I'm like, oh great, thanks.
No,
You gotta see the Minecraft movie.
No, no.
I could see it being a big one for them.
Yeah,
So, but it's definitely worth the watch. Like I said, it doesn't matter that it's older. It doesn't matter that it is a little cheesy at times. I love the Richard Dawson piece. He's, a famous game show guy anyway, and so he plays the part just perfectly. So very, very good movie. Check it out, The Running Man. First review there. Well, let's go with Wes's movie here. So
cool.
Wes pulled up a good old classic, one of my favorite movies ever, and a lot of people, in our demographic, our older demographic from that, you're gonna love The Princess Bride, right? Who doesn't love The Princess Bride? So Derek, why don't you give us your opening thoughts?
Well, thank you, Wes. It actually was good because it was family movie night. We watched The Princess Bride, Grayson's first time watching it.
Oh yeah,
Because
nice.
I mean, he's about the same age as Fred Savage was, so it was kind of a perfect thing. And even like the funniest things is when they first started kissing. Grayson's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
so like perfect because it's just what Fred Savage did. It's, I mean, I like you said, everyone our age or a little bit younger, even because they love The Princess Bride, and it's a great story. It's like Peter Falk says, it's got romance, it's got sword fighting, it's got giants, it's action, it's got everything. And like for me, the Wallace Shawn is I love him so much in this. Inconceivable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole beginning, not the beginning part with Andre and Mandy Patinkin and Wallace Shawn seeing them first. That whole scene, like the beginning, sets the movie up in such a great way, and it's such a great cast. And yeah, I don't think you could say anything wrong about this movie.
No, and yeah, I think the first thing to understand is how well cast it was, right? How each of those character people encompass their characters. And I mean, Carrie Elwes, I've always liked him, but this movie, like the way he plays that part is perfect. And it's just, because he's got that like, confidence, but you're like, why is this guy so confident? Because it's Carrie Elwes.
Right.
But he pulls it off. He does a great job. Having Andre the Giant in it, is very cool. Interesting also from 1987, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of funny when I saw that. Um, the biggest thing about this movie, yeah, you're right. The beginning's amazing, right? It's the whole setup to the prelude, but still, when he's chasing them and they have to climb the rope, and then he's climbing the rope by himself, and then he gets up there, and you do have the world's best movie line, or one of the best movie lines, which anybody who's seen the movie or liked the movie as a kid remembers, when hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Who doesn't know that? You know. And then he's looking for a six-fingered man. Like that's just funny to me.
Anybody want a peanut?
That's a little silly at times going through the fire swamp and things like that. But I
Firefox.
love, I do love the Dread Pirate Roberts scenarios, though, because then you're like, it's not, it's not the actual guy, it's the name or the fear of the guy. It doesn't matter who it is, and that's so true again, into life. A very good ending though when the pit of despair and that kind of part. Again, a little bit cheesy, but how they move through that part and finish up the movie with him in the castle at the end. And I mean it just really works for me. I think it's a great movie, great story, definitely great kids movie, right? So if you're a parent who's still looking for a good old movie to show your kids, i.e. Derek watching it with your son, like it's great. Like that's what parents should do. Show them Princess Bride. What do you got, Wes? What's your overview?
Yeah, I probably watched this movie, around Grayson's age, 12, what, 12 or something, with friends, and of course, the beginning is my favorite part almost. But just the characters, I mean, just the story itself, it's pretty. I mean, I've never read the book. I kind of want to read the book. Um, yeah, just the names of the characters, Humperdinck. I can't even pronounce it. Physic and just the scenarios. And but the beginning is the best when he's climbing. He's like, what? And when you first watch it, you're just like, dude, what's this dude doing? It's like you're just kind of like, what? Like, where's this guy dude coming from? Um, yeah, it's just I don't know. It's a girl told me because I couldn't think of a movie, and she's like, "Do Princess Bride," and I'm like, I know. It's like everybody tells me like, every woman like over 35 is like they love that movie.
That's that age group, like
Yeah,
because especially a little bit older than that too. That was one of those movies, and it's a love story, and it's got like Derek was saying that that's pitched on that. It's got everything, right? It's one of those good old classic kind of fantasy hero,
It's
action.
like something they'd never make today. People are like, oh, that's stupid. But it's just yeah, it's a good family movie too. It's just
Yeah.
like you could watch it with your kids and it's not like, it's not like some of the movies today.
The sword fight for me is one of the best scenes. And because they both do the same thing, which just it cracks you up. He's like, because I know something you don't know.
Yeah.
I am not left-handed.
Yeah,
And so it's fun to me. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it is like you really get into it and it grabs you right away, right? It's one of those. It's just you're into the movie from the beginning, and they do a really smart thing, which is they have that secondary story happening with Fred Savage and I mean, I call him Columbo, but
it's
Peter Falk.
Colombo, yeah.
Peter Falk, he's always be Columbo to me. Hey, wait, one more thing. But yeah, so they set it up great with that alternate story and telling the story of the book, and then you get to see the story play out. So, great movie, Princess Bride, family movie. Check it out with your kids. Kids will love it, and you'll give them a little bit of, culture in the older movies and well written, well acted, like when people really, really put their hearts into it.
No CGI though.
Yeah, you don't
Sorry.
need it, dude. You
Sorry,
do it
kid.
right. You do it right. You don't need CGI, right?
Yeah,
No
the
deep fakes
ROUSs.
or CGI. Stupid
Um,
computer.
yeah, so let's get into the third movie here. So this was my pick. And when we started talking about, oh, let's pick a movie based on a book, I mean, I had to go with Shawshank, so Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite movies anyway. But I hadn't really deep dived into it for a while, and so that's why I chose this one. Wes, why don't you lead us off?
Hold on a second. Well, it's a movie that's always on, and it's hard for me not to watch it at any point of the movie. Like, even if it's in the middle, it's just one of those movies you can just watch over and over. Tim Robbins is character is he gets convicted of a murder and is sentenced to so many years. And he's the accountant and very smart. Yeah, it's just so many good characters in it. Morgan Freeman's awesome. Uh, the twist is unlike any major movie that's been made. And I can't even think of the last time there was a twist that was that epic. Um, it's great supporting cast. Yeah, it's just the first time I saw it as a kid, I was like, it threw me for a loop. Um, and the ending's awesome because it's just like, hey, it took it talks it's a movie about really perseverance. Like, think about the patience and perseverance that you have to do exactly what he did for over that many years and not give up, you know, and then helping his friend too at the end. Yeah, it's just a great movie. It should have won Best Picture, but no, no, you know how that is.
Right. Yeah, I mean that perseverance point is it's amazing because you can't even imagine like going through that. Yet, you kind of feel like he always had a plan. What do you got, Derek?
Well, one thing that's kind of crazy is, Morgan Freeman was up for Best Actor, not support. I always think of him as the supporting actor, but he
Right.
must have had more time than Tim Robbins. So he was up for Best Supporting Actor. Didn't win, which he should have won that too. But, Academy loved Forrest Gump so much. Shawshank is probably the greatest movie of all time.
It's right there.
And yeah, another Stephen King both Stephen King movies, books are not horror movies. You see, it's kind of more social commentary movies.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's why, yeah, the whole, yeah, going to jail and you don't know, at the beginning, you're like, okay, is he innocent really or not? And then later, and the supporting cast was so great in the movie. And it's a nice period piece too, because it's set in like the 20s, right?
Yeah, or no, like
40s.
47.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, the whole get busy living or get busy dying, right?
Yeah.
And hope is a dangerous thing. And it gives lots of great examples of not giving up, like Wes said about perseverance. So yeah, and then the ending, yeah, it's something you have to watch. Like the whole movie culminates to that ending, and you just need to see that ending, and it's probably one of the best endings of a movie, also.
I mean, when you talk about like sticking it to a man, like that's he got
Yeah.
all of it, right? Like top to bottom, he had it all planned out. And yeah, so my overview of it, and it is one of I would easily always call it one of the top movies ever. It is when you talk about social construct and things like that, it goes back to this when you see how the life is for them in prison, you start to think about, man, like how terrible is that for human beings to have to go through that, even though like why they are there, right? Most of them are there in that type of prison because they committed some heinous crime, but then it's just like you almost start feeling sorry for them, especially Tim Robbins, because they dig more into what he goes through when he first gets there and years before he kind of lands into his spot. And so it does give you that like, man, like this is prison, this is real life, and people go through this constantly. And when you talk about when you made the statement about get busy living or get busy dying, one of the words that Morgan Freeman, his character Red, uses, and he says, institutionalized, right? And so yeah, I mean these guys are getting institutionalized, being there for 30, 40, 50 years, and that's your whole life. And it's a good example of when the older guy gets out and goes and hangs himself. It's like he was so institutionalized, he gets his freedom and he doesn't even want it. It's he can't live in the outside world. And so what are we really doing in these prisons? Like, is there really real rehabilitation happening? And how true is that to all the prison worlds out there? So the movie itself, though, is really, really well done. Frank Darabont is good. I've always thought he was good, but this is by far, obviously, the best that he's ever done. The overlay of Morgan Freeman's voice, though, is genius because you already got one of the best voices ever. And then he's telling the story while it's happening, and then you get to see it happening, and so you're getting a two for one there. You're getting like a great narrative of an amazing book and a well-written screenplay done by Morgan Freeman, acted by Morgan Freeman
Right.
with Tim Robbins. Like, does it get any better than that? Just a great movie, top to bottom. Again, and the ending's amazing. They really like their characters come out, and Tim Robbins does an amazing job of keeping his head up and being normal, like not losing what real life is all about in the movie, and that's inspiring. So great movie there, Shawshank Redemption. Check it out. Probably not a good one for family movie night, but uh, great for maybe the boys or
Yeah, it's a movie. It's also a movie about accounting, so it is educational entertainment.
right taxes,
Absolutely, yeah.
how to get your biggest deductions.
Personal finance here.
And more importantly, how to take advantage of free labor from the prison system.
Yeah.
Right. Money laundering.
Yeah, money laundering.
Well, the part when like they talk about like the construction and how he starts doing the backdoor deals, in the with the city and the state and the construction workers, you're like, man, this is corruption at its best, right?
And then yeah, he basically blackmails other people so they like have to give him money to so he doesn't underbid them.
Right. And you're talking about set in 1947, right? And
Yeah.
so we've been going through this for so long, and we're still in that state. So incredible movie. Definitely one of the best ones I think made, not just a long time, but pretty much ever. So, all right. Well, we'll wrap movie review there. So we reviewed Princess Bride, The Running Man, and The Shawshank Redemption. Any movies you'd like to hear? We're getting more comments, so that's good. So throw in the comments any movies, and we'll keep trying to find interesting categories and bring you guys great movies. And so we'll take a quick second here, and then we're going to jump into NFL Draft Night. Been waiting for this for a long time.